Good evening, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us. Amid a diplomatic row with Kuwait, President Rodrigo Duterte calls on thousands of Filipino workers in the Gulf state to leave and come home. But the president's appeal does not sit well with the migrants group. Our correspondent Zian Arcangel reports.
President Rodrigo Duterte's appeal to Filipino workers in Kuwait to come home is a disaster waiting to happen. That's how Migrante International sees it. Its spokesperson, Arman Hernando, says these distressed workers may end up getting jobs that don't match their skills or worse, jobless. He calls the president's appeal a knee-jerk reaction to the worsening diplomatic spat between the Philippines and Kuwait.
Sa kasalukuyang sitwasyon, masasama yung 206,000 na OFWs from Kuwait sa mahigit 2 milyon na unemployed na mga Pilipino. Ito ay walang idudulot na maganda at mas magpapalala pa nga sa kalagayan nating mga Pilipino.
Days after the Kuwaiti government expelled Philippine Ambassador Renato Villa, President Duterte urged Filipinos working there to leave.
This ban stays permanently. There will be no more recruitment for especially domestic helpers. Wala na.
The Labor Department confirms there are jobs ready for them here in the country and overseas.
Remember, our president has embarked on a build a major infrastructure project so that from these projects we will be able to generate enough jobs to address yung mga concern ng mga OFWs natin who will be repatriated. Voluntary ito yung mga gusto umuwi. And then we are also looking for alternative markets, like, for example, we are talking of China, Israel, Czechoslovakia, and even Japan.
Hernando, however, says there's no guarantee OFWs will have better working conditions in other countries. It's likely, he warns, that returning OFWs will try their luck in Kuwait again through illegal means.
Mapipilitan yung mga kababayan natin na desperate na dumaan doon sa mga illegal o mabiktima nito mga human traffickers kahit na bawal.
Labor Secretary BELLO, meanwhile, says negotiations for the Memorandum of Understanding with Kuwait on the protection of Filipino workers continues. He's set to meet with Kuwaiti officials on May 7th to iron out details of the agreement. Zian Arcangel, CNN, Philippines.
The government will do all it can to help distressed OFWs in Kuwait to come home. In his arrival speech in Davao City, President Duterte says he's looking to use the financial aid from China supposedly allotted for hospitals outside of Metro Manila to help the workers. Here's the president in his own words.
Ang problema kung sila ang may kaso, hindi sila makalabas. But if I can use the money to pay off whatever utang nila, ubusin ko yung pera niyan para sa tao. Maybe I told Bello and Secretary Cayetano to start the mobilization immediately. Nandyan yung pera. O kung wala pa yung napasok sa National Treasury, I can always use emergency fund. To me, it's a calamity. It is a calamity.
Following the president's announcement, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello says the deployment ban is not permanent. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Bello clarifies the decision to permanently ban sending OFWs to the Gulf state will depend on the Memorandum of Understanding, which is still being negotiated by the two countries.
The president never mentioned that the deployment ban is become permanent. That is not true. The president said is that the Philippines and Kuwait are good friends and are allies, and he does not want the presence of our OFWs there to cause an irritant in that relationship. So ang sabi niya, yung mga gustong umuwi, then he is willing to help them. So yun ang message ng ating Pangulo. There was never a mention that the deployment ban will be impermanent. Baka taken out of context because the deployment ban is there. And then if you recall, he said before that the deployment ban will stay as long as wala yung MOU at saka wala yung justice kidemaphilis. So, pagka nagkaroon na ng signing ng MOU, baka sakali.
To rehab rehabilitation of the world-famous island of Boracay has begun. And this early, the impact of the shutdown is taking a toll on locals. AC Nichols reports.
Fine white sand and clear turquoise waters. That's this Paradise Island's beauty that draws millions of tourists to it. The world-class beach is even more stunning now, as its shores are empty and it's all quiet and peaceful. Without tourists to serve, many establishments have closed up shop. But this store in Boracay Station 2 chose to stay open. From mainly selling souvenir items to tourists, it is now stocking up on basic goods. The store manager says they plan to cater to people working on the island's rehabilitation.
Most of the shops nagko-close na din. So sabi namin yung i-grab na din namin yung opportunity.
Tricycle driver Ed Martinez isn't going anywhere as well. Before the closure, he usually earns around 2,500 pesos by 4 p.m. But to make it through the 6-month closure, he must now work longer hours.
Mag-umpisa na lang po ng mas maaga, hanggang sa tuloy-tuloy lang po, hanggang kaya po natin ng katawan, hanggang alas 10 or alas 12.
National and local authorities have offered help to affected workers, but the next few months will not be easy. For now, locals are hoping they can survive as they look forward to a better and an even more thriving Boracay. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines, Boracay.
In news overseas, North Korea is taking steps towards denuclearization. According to South Korea's presidential office, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will shut down his country's nuclear test site in May. Seoul adds Mr. Kim will invite experts and journalists from South Korea and the United States to Pyongyang for transparency. This is the latest breakthrough on the peninsula ahead of a meeting between Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump. On Friday, North and South Korea made history in ending the decades-long Korean War. President Duterte welcomes Kim Jong-un's move to committing to forge peace with South Korea. In his arrival speech from Singapore, President Duterte did not hide his admiration for the North Korean leader. He hopes Mr. Kim will remain committed to end the war for good. Duterte also says he will congratulate Kim personally if they get to meet someday.
Alam mo, naging idol ko tuloy siya, Kim Jong-un. For all of the time, he was pictured to be the bad boy of the community. But with one master stroke, he is now the hero of everybody. He appears to be amiable, jolly good fellow, and very accommodating. I hope he remains to be that way because nobody is really after him. It's just a matter of a historical divide which has created there. Wala namang kasali ang buong mundo. So I think that to me, the man of the hour would be Kim Jong-un. And someday, if I get to meet him, I'd like to congratulate him.
As part of the Earth Month celebration, hundreds gathered last night to show how the power of music can help spread the message of saving the planet. Our Trisha Terada tells us more.
It was an evening of singing, dancing, and lots of love for Mother Earth. Hundreds joined the Earth Day celebration at the Quezon Memorial Circle Saturday evening for the Earth Day Jam 2018. Artists played rock, hip-hop, modern jazz, folk, electronic, and world music to send a strong message, protect the environment.
It's all about the little things, like not asking for a plastic bag. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture.
Simple lang. Huwag ka lang magkalat. As simple as,
yun ang pinakasimple.
pag meron kang plastic, lagay mo lang sa bulsa mo hanggang sa makakita kang basuran.
The musicians hope their music would inspire their fans to go green.
We would like to encourage you all to plant trees, avoid single-use plastic. That's what I do. I always bring a reusable cup or reusable bottle. If you can, ask for a to-go mug wherever you are. Don't use straws. And be responsible.
In between performances, the Earth Day Jam also featured short talks and inspirational messages on pressing environment issues. Park goers also enjoyed the interactive booths in the puppet show. One exhibit promoted the recycling of trash. It provided waste segregation baskets where people can dispose their garbage, which will either be sold to junk shops or be repurposed.
Ang mga papel na re-recycle po natin. So ang mga PET bottles natin, ito po mga damit namin na ito is PET bottle. Project po ito po ay product ng PET bottles. So ito po mga damit namin, then yung mga 1.5 PET bottles po natin na ano po natin yan na nagiging kumot po siya, nagiging blanket.
For them, the event was a step to sustaining an environment-friendly lifestyle, all for saving the planet. Trisha Terada, CNN Philippines.
That's what's happening in the newsroom this Sunday, April 29. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay with CNN Philippines where we tell the story of the Filipino. Good night.